Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the football betting series here on YouTube Premier League edition. Last season, we finished with an overall record of 97 wins, 41 losses, and 12 pushes, or around about a 70% win rate. This season, I'm going to be raising the stakes, using our winnings to bolster our kitty and our spending power for this year. And as such, I'll be starting with a £400 deposit into my Betfair account, with full stake bets being £40 and half stake bets being £20. But this will all be spelled out in the video description down below. Before I get into the picks, I need to do a little bit of housekeeping. Something that I did not think would be coming up for a few years' time would be that Ipswich are now in the Premier League. As an Ipswich Town fan, I try to be aware of my bias and pick the best bets that are out there. But if you don't like my Ipswich Town picks or any other picks in the future videos, please do not feel the need to back them and always do your own research. A final disclaimer would be to take it slow and watch out for value. Yes, okay, the Premier League is back for the first time in a few months, and there is that temptation to get involved in every game. But keep in mind, over the next 9 months, we have 380 Premier League matches coming up, and do not feel the need to spend all of your money in the opening week, and always gamble responsibly. I've got 3 selections in today's episode, so if you think I'm talking some sense, please drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel for more content. Without further ado, let's get into it. We kick things off with the season opener on the Friday night as Manchester United play host to Fulham. And despite a tough season for most of the year and a lot of speculation about Ten Hag's job security, Manchester United managed to finish on a high. They lifted the FA Cup trophy against Manchester City at Wembley, and it's added a bit of gloss to a year in which they fell below the expectations they set for themselves with an 8th place finish in the Premier League. One big advantage that the Red Devils will have over Fulham is playing the season curtain raiser in the Community Shield against Man City. Whilst it's all well and good to have a pre-season, there's no substitute for competitive games. Okay, it's only the Community Shield, but it does represent the first piece of silverware available this season against a heated rival. In the window, Manchester United added Joshua Zirkzee from Bologna. The Dutch striker scored 11 goals in 34 Serie A games to outperform his XG of 9, and this move could prove a shrewd signing for Manchester United. Fulham are the visitors, and they finished 13th place last season. The Cottagers really took their foot off the pedal once they secured safety at the end of the year, winning just 2 of their final 9 games of the campaign, one of which came on the final day against an already relegated Luton side. This year's window has not been very kind to Fulham at all. Headline departures of João Palhinha to Bayern Munich and Tosin Adarabioyo to Chelsea, 2 players who racked up a combined 63 games last season. Without their presence at the back and in the base of midfield, Fulham fans will fear the worst. They're going to be a lot more vulnerable as they start off the new season. When we look at the head-to-head records, last game at Old Trafford saw the visitors come away with all 3 points and a 2-1 win. Calvin Bassey scored what looked like to be the only goal in the game before Harry Maguire's 89th minute equaliser, which gave the hosts some hope. That hope was quickly dashed by Alex Iwobi's 97th minute winner right at the death to restore Fulham's lead and deny Manchester United even a point of consolation. Before that game, Manchester United have won each of the last 4 encounters, and I think we're looking at another Man United win here today. Fulham have been depleted at the back with the departure of key players, with no clear replacement in sight, whereas their hosts are growing in confidence moving into this game. At home on the opening day, I can't really see past Manchester United, so I'm going to be backing them to win for a full stake in the first bet of the episode, the first bet of the new season. Our second selection sees Chelsea play host to Manchester City, and Chelsea's last season was a turbulent one to say the least. Multiple injuries to key players really prevented the Blues from building any kind of momentum in their pursuit of Champions League football. However, they finished strong enough, winning each of their last 5 league games to end the season on a high, and this run saw Chelsea finish 6th place to secure Europa League football. During the summer, Chelsea haven't had quite the same spending power as the previous windows. However, they have managed to add Tosin Adarabioyo to replace the departing Thiago Silva, and picked up Keelan Dewsbury-Hall from Leicester City, who performed really well in the Championship last year. £34 million could prove to be a bargain if he continues to bring the promise shown with the Foxes. Manchester City are the opposition, and they lifted another Premier League trophy last year, claiming a historic 4th in a row, and have won the league title in 5 of the last 6 seasons. It is hard to see past the Citizens again this year, and it makes perfect sense that they're listed as the bookmakers' favourite going into Matchday 1. Manchester City's window has been rather quiet, and I think they've kept their heads down with the 115 cases of financial breaches hanging over them. That said, they have managed to sign Savinho from the French outfit Troyes, a tricky winger who brings bags of potential, but I can't really see him breaking into the first 11 on Matchday 1. Head-to-head, well, these sides faced off last in the FA Cup semi-finals. Man City took a 1-0 win thanks to Bernardo Silva's goal. Looking a little bit further back, Man City are unbeaten in each of the last 9 encounters, and I love their chances of avoiding defeat once again. Maresca's Chelsea are a unknown quantity, but that can cut both ways as they could be a surprise here. And with that playing on my mind, on matchday 1, I'm going to exercise some caution and pick Man City to win for a half stake in bet number 2. Our third and final selection takes place on the Monday night. Leicester City play host to Tottenham Hotspurs, and the Foxes return to the big time following their first place finish in the Championship last year, pipping Ipswich Town to the title by a single point. Since then, it's been all change for Leicester. The coach that helped them get promoted is now in the Chelsea dugout, and they've appointed Steve Cooper as his replacement. And on the pitch, there's a number of changes as well, which fans are less than optimistic about, namely taking shape in last year's talisman, Keenan Dewsbury Hall. KDH contributed 12 goals and 14 assists in their title challenge, or around 30% of the goals output that he was directly responsible for. So losing the coach and the best player from last year's side does see Leicester the favourites to go down this year. They host a Spurs side who finished 5th place last season, which was enough to secure Europa League football. Postecoglou implemented his style of high pace and tempo to really inject some excitement into the Spurs side. Transfer-wise, Spurs have offloaded a few names that Big Ange didn't really like. Eric Dyer, Ryan Sessegnon and Tanguy Ndombele have gone. And they've also secured the services of Leeds' standout player last year, Archie Gray. When we look at the head-to-head record, Spurs have won 4 of the last 5 competitive games. And I think, despite being the away side in this one, it's hard to see past Tottenham Hotspurs this time around. So I'm going to be backing Spurs to pick up a win on the final game of matchday 1 on the Monday night. Spurs to win for a full stake in bet number 3. So there we have it, 3 selections in today's episode, starting off with the curtain raiser. Manchester United to beat Fulham, odds of 1.56, a £40 stake to return 22.40. On the Sunday, we're looking at Chelsea Man City. We're going to be backing the away side, odds of 1.92, just a half stake of £20 to return £18.40. And on the final day of matchday 1, Leicester play Spurs. We're backing the away side once again for a full stake at odds of 1.73. That could return as much as £29.20. So across the matchday 1, we're going to be risking £100 to hopefully pick up as much as £70 in return. Will we do so? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's to tune into the next episode. But if you have made it to this point in the video, please drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel for more content. And as always, have yourself a lovely day.